It was either November or December of 2018 when I did it. It started when I invited my friend Reagan over. We hopped on Fortnite, given it was 2018 and in its prime, but unfortunately kept losing. We decided that we should do something else with our time. He told me about ding dong ditching. It was a revelation that I never thought I would commit on my older neighbors. He eventually convinced me, and I brightened up to this strange idea. I quickly rushed downstairs to tell Mom that Reagan and I would be going outside to play. She never even batted an eye. We quickly rode our bikes to the end of my driveway so we would not be spotted from the perimeter of my house, and started riding down the subdivision. The air was crisp, and there were leaves on the ground. You'd get goosebumps if a stray gust of wind caught your arms. We saw our first target, a house with the lights turned off, looking like it somehow held a newlywed couple. It was perfect. I walked up to the doorbell, and with no regret, I rang it. I swiftly brought myself to the tree line at the front of their house for viewing. I saw a confused, middle-aged woman appear in the doorframe, scanning for us. After a good 15 seconds, which felt like an hour, she went back inside, and I had completed my first ding-dong ditch. It was exhilarating at first, me and my buddy swapping who knocked on every house, then getting a good chuckle, but the exhilaration would soon turn into fear, a fear I've never felt before. It was his turn when we came to the next house, the last house. It was darker than usual, the blinds were drawn, and the atmosphere felt 10 degrees colder whilst carrying a deafening silence. Reagan approached the house. He walked up to the doorbell, a rubber rectangle with rotten wood surrounding it. He pressed it and ran. The doorbell rang, and he sprinted away. The silence was broken, but something was still strange. Just mere seconds after Reagan rang the doorbell, the doorknob began to turn open. Reagan barely made it to the wood line to the safety. An old man opened the door, and instead of looking around, he started sprinting towards us. It was unlike anything I've ever seen, and to this day I don't know how he spotted us. Nevertheless, Reagan and I were the prey, and he was the predator. We got on our bikes, which we had thankfully brought, and pedaled like hell. I glanced back at the driveway where we just were. The man was there, cold still, staring at us menacingly. I will never forget that face. We eventually arrived home and were terrified. We changed our clothes in order not to be identified. Thankfully, the man never showed up. Looking back on it now, I realized that we made a mistake. All it took for us to learn it was a 90-year-old grandpa. Respect old people.